Okay, so yeah, I hope my screen is visible, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so before we can start with the topic like CI/CD and all those things like CI/CD tools or CI/CD pipelines. So we have one topic left that is basics of server management and all those things like to run our automation scripts and everything. We can set up or we can provision one test server or test environment, right? So as an automation engineer, we should know how to manage those kind of QA servers and everything, how we can create or how we can provision or how we can set up these kind of servers or what are the things that we need to know, like in terms of several automation testing techniques and everything, like be it UI automation, be it functional, or be it performance or security automation. Okay, so let's fine. So yeah, this is the first slide is basically the overview about the server management. So this particular server management includes about the infrastructure monitoring and maintenance that we need or that is basically required for every servers to operate reliably and in a like optimum level, okay, and at their peak performance level, you can say, okay, like how we can set up or we can do the maintenance of the server or like how we can monitor the infrastructure, either all my resources like the computing resources in terms of cloud servers and everything. So how they are getting utilized. So all those kind of monitoring part and everything, we can get the overview or we can have the knowledge in this server management overview. Okay, and our primary goals like of an effective server management strategy will be like minimize the server slowdowns and downtime while maximizing the reliability. So as a DevOps engineer or in a DevOps life cycle, so we always try to mitigate or minimize the server slowdown and something like that, right? We never want like the production server or any other server are running in a slow manner or like the resources are not working properly or the servers need more resources actually to run more effectively. Okay, so all those things we don't want at the very last moment. Okay, when we can't do anything or we can't do anything in a short period of time. So we want to know all these kind of things in a like on beforehand actually, so that we can cope up with all these kinds of emergency situations and we don't have any kind of like negative feedbacks from the client or from the customer, right? Okay. To now to minimize those kind of things, those kind of server slowdowns and everything, this server management is very much needed. Okay, and like to build the secure environments also, we need to do some kind of management works and everything in terms of server or in terms of setting up or provision the server, like what are the port that I mean in the networking part, what are the different ports that needs to be open, what are the rules or what are the firewall rules that we should implement or we should establish. So all those kind of things we can talk about in this server management topic. Okay, and one more thing that we can do, like we can scale the servers and related operations, okay, to meet our need in the like over the time and everything. Whenever we can see like there are kind of traffic that I mean the amount of traffic that is coming into one particular production server that is increasing. Okay, in that case we have to scale our servers and everything. We have to scale our resources and everything. Okay, so if we are doing proper monitoring and everything, then we can manage our servers more effectively, I can say. So these are the several goals of an effective server management strategy. Okay. Next is what are the different things that we should know about the server management. Okay, so there are a couple of things we should know, like how we can operate different web servers, be it Apache web server, be it IIS in terms of Windows and everything. Okay, apart from that, there is one more thing that is NGINX. So this particular web server is getting used pretty much well, actually. I mean, I can say the amount of users are using Apache web server almost same or more or less almost same users are using Nginx web server. So this particular web server comes into free version as well as the enterprise version, like open source and enterprise version, both we can get for this particular web server and for Apache web server also. So how we can operate this kind of web servers, how we can maintain, or how we can set up this particular web servers. All those things we should know, at least the basic things, like what are the basic protocols, firewall protocols, or networking part that should be taken care of in terms of server management. So all those things we should know. And what is forward proxy and what is reverse proxy, all those things also we should know. If someone is into like security testing, or someone is into performance testing, for them this server management topic is very much important. So they should know what is a caching servers, how forward and reverse proxies works, and all those things, so that they can effectively like monitor, or they can effectively measure the server performance in terms of application performance and everything. So these are the few things that we should know for server management. And if you want to learn a bit of about Apache or IIS or Nginx, then you can like navigate to the official documentation of this particular web servers, and you can have a brief idea about all these things. You don't have to go any other blogs and everything in Google. Just read the official documentation. So that is enough to get the basics, I mean more than basic ideas about this web servers and everything. Okay, so this is basically the basics about the server management and all. And like we can move to the next topic, that is CI/CD and CI/CD pipeline. So before going to the next topic, anyone is having any question about server management or the previous topics that we explained in the last few days? Okay, so no one is having any kind of question and everything, then we can move to the fine. So now the final topic of this entire essential DevOps for test automation professional journey, that is introduction to CI/CD pipeline, right? So before starting with this particular topic, like many of us working with this particular concept like CI/CD and everything, right? So be it different tools, I am not talking about the tools and terminologies we are using, but yeah, we are using this kind of concepts and everything in our day-to-day work, right? So I just want to know like what are the different definition we are having about this CI/CD or CI/CD pipeline. So can someone tell me like what is actually CI/CD or CI/CD pipeline is, or like what actually you guys know about this CI/CD pipeline? Anyone? Ramesh? Or
Yes, we can use CI/CD pipeline to execute our framework at
okay,
specific time.
okay. Okay, but why we need the pipeline? We can like run the job at a specific timeline without a pipeline also, right? But why this pipeline is needed? Or what
Without
is actually this pipeline is CI/CD pipeline?
means without human interaction, framework trigger at that time, so we get a result.
Yeah, you can anyway you can do that, right? That is what I am telling you. Like without CI/CD pipeline also we can set up the job or set up the execution time. I mean, at that particular time, our automation should will run. Okay. So anyone else like Sairaj, you are already aware of similar kind of things, right? So
Uh, yes, in CI/CD pipeline, what we have done, so we have the code on the GitHub, and
no,
for
I'm
example,
not asking for the things that you have already done or already completed for
no,
this.
I'm telling what is the CI/CD pipeline itself.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. You can tell.
So, for example, we have the lot of test cases around 100 and 200, and we need to test that daily basis. And we can do manually daily, but it is the time consuming part. We need to set up our machine and try to run the test cases in every day. But using CI/CD, what can we do? We can create one pipeline on Jenkins or the Azure DevOps anywhere,
Mhm.
where we can give all details, which test cases we need to run on the daily basis, and if we want to give some particular timeline, so we can schedule at that particular timeline, so
Mhm.
that time that test cases will be triggered. So in advance we can also apply some configuration, like after running the pipeline, it will be create one result and send it to us the mail. So for example, we have need to check the uh, per day 100 test cases, and we cannot do regularly is manually. So
Right.
using pipeline, what happened? It will be run automatically. It will not take our time. It will be sent report direct to their manager. They can check it. Okay, this pipeline is work correctly, so we don't need to look into this today. And if it's failed,
Mhm.
then they need to look into it and fix it as soon as possible. So this is the benefit of the CI/CD.
Right. So yeah, you are right. But yeah, one thing that I can add to your answer or to your points that whatever you said, like we can also add the conditions, like under which circumstances this particular test will run and everything. Like we can add the conditions,
Yeah.
different conditions, like when we can run one particular test or when we can run different uh, I mean different types of testing like integration or unit or smoke and something like that. So we can give the conditions also. So that is one thing that I can add. Okay. Thank you, Sairaj. So yeah, let's start with the topic. So the first thing is what is CI/CD, right? Okay. So continuous integration or continuous delivery, like CI/CD is another DevOps practice, okay, that enables us to automate the process of building, testing, delivering or deploying our software applications. Okay. And it helps us to deliver the software in a frequent and faster manner, like while we can ensure the quality and the reliability of the software application. Okay. And we have different stages in a CI/CD, like continuous integration and continuous deployment. Basically, we do have two main stages in this particular CI/CD concept. One is continuous integration and another one is continuous delivery. Okay. So first, what is continuous integration or CI? So CI is basically the process of merging the code changes like from multiple developers. So in a team, uh, whenever we are working for a like complex and like enterprise level software or application, we do have multiple developers working on that particular software code base, right? Yeah. So CI process is basically to merge the code changes or the new codes from several developers into one particular repository. That is basically the shared repository like GitHub or any other service provider we can use, and then running the automated test cases to verify that all those merged code are working as expected. Like you can say the integration of uh, the several developed code from several developers are working properly or not. Okay, when they are getting integrated with each other. So this particular process, the CI process, helps us to detect bugs in a early stage to improve the code quality and reduce the integration conflicts. I already told you, like the whether they are working properly after integration or not, we can check through this continuous integration. And like detecting the bugs early stage, I can say there is a term that nowadays we are using more frequently, that is C-flip testing. What is this C-flip testing is? So this is basically testing and like testing and detecting the defects and everything or errors in a early stage of the software development life cycle. And we can do that particular thing with this CI process. Okay, with the help of this CI process, we can achieve the C-flip testing and all those kind of things, so that at an early stage we can detect and we can fix the bugs or the errors, and we can we can deliver a quality product to the customer in a very short time. Okay. Now there is continuous delivery or CD process. So what is this? This is the process of delivering the code changes from the repository to the different environments. Like there are testing environment, there are staging environments or production environments. And we can do this particular thing with the automated pipelines. Okay. So basically the CD process used to happen through the automated pipelines, and this particular continuous delivery process actually helps us to deploy the software in a consistent manner or in a fast manner. Okay. And they can minimize the human errors and manual interventions. Why? Because we are doing this kind of things through the automated pipelines or through automations and everything. So the human errors or like the human intervention, the chances of all these things are pretty much less. Okay. So that is why we can say like we can deliver the software in a shorter time and in a faster way. Okay. Now, what are the things that we should learn about this continuous integration and continuous deployment or continuous delivery? Okay. First of all, we need to learn the tools, the different tools and the platforms that we can use to implement this CI/CD or CI/CD pipeline and this CI/CD practices or the concept. Okay. There are several tools like Jenkins. There are tools like Azure DevOps, TeamCity, Circle CI, all those things that we can use or that can act as a CI/CD tool. And they have, I mean, different tools have their own features and capabilities. Okay, so how Jenkins work and how Azure DevOps works or Azure DevOps services works. So the process or the features are different for both the tools. Okay, and we can achieve different things or we can achieve different outcomes using these two tools. Like we can do many things through Jenkins, and we can I can say like we can do few more things through Azure DevOps. Okay, in Azure DevOps service, we can we can have the boards or the backlog and all those kinds of things. But yeah, in Jenkins, we don't used to. I mean, we do not have all these kind of things. But yeah, with the plugins and everything, we can integrate kind of like Jira and Azure DevOps also with Jenkins. In that case, we can do or we can we can have our boards or we can have our backlogs or those kind of things with Jenkins. Okay. So yeah, now I mean the CI/CD principles and the best practices also we should learn or we should know. Okay, so that we can effectively implement the CI/CD pipeline in our organization or in our software development life cycle. Okay, like how this CI/CD workflow or DevOps workflow works. with the help of different components of CI/CD pipeline, and like what are the principles or what are the best practices available for like for different workflows or different pipeline related components in CI/CD. So all those things or all those topics we should learn, or at least we should have the basic idea. Okay. So like uh, we are working as a automation engineer, and like not as a developer or not as a operations associates, right? But yeah, in terms of automation and everything, we used to write our codes, we used to build and test the codes and do everything. Like whenever we are creating a framework and all those things, we used to unit test our codes or our framework codes that we used to write to use all those kind of things in a later time, and then we can like package all our framework codes into several jar files, and we can use those jar files to create our automation scripts and everything, right? So in this kind of process also, or in this kind of work also, we can implement the CI/CD pipeline, or we can automate the things. Okay, so that the manual intervention, I mean, there are zero chances of manual intervention. Okay, so to do that, we should know the tools and the best practices or the different CI/CD principles. Okay, or we can implement several types of testing, like security testing, performance testing, unit testing, or regression testing, or like end-to-end testing. All those kind of things we can implement, or we might implement in a different stage, or like in an existing pipeline or existing CI/CD pipeline, let's say. In that case also, we should know the things, or how we can implement, or how we can integrate our automated testing pipelines or automated testing jobs to the existing CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so now we already talked about the CI/CD pipeline and everything. We mentioned this particular nomenclature several times, right? But what is this CI/CD pipeline actually is? Okay, so the CI/CD pipeline is a series of automated steps that actually helps software teams to deliver the code faster, safer, and more reliably. Okay, so the CI/CD pipeline is actually helping us to achieve the CI/CD process in a DevOps life cycle. Okay, so pipelines are the essential part of the continuous integration and continuous delivery process. Okay, and they are very much critical for the modern software development. So I have added one diagram here. Like you can see, there are two kind of pipelines available. One is for continuous integration stage, another one is for continuous deployment stage. So in the build pipeline, what actually used to happen, like developers used to maintain their code, or like merge their code in the version control system, and then the trigger happens with like any kind of whenever any merging or any pull request is getting approved and everything, then compilation of those kind of source code and everything, then packaging of that particular source code, automated unit testing or automated UI testing, all these kind of things used to happen under build pipeline, or basically the under continuous integration stage. Okay, and then in the continuous deployment stage, automated packaging used to happen. Okay, and automated packaging used to happen through the intervention of operations team. They used to write their scripts and everything, so that they can package the code and everything, or different source code modules. Okay, and then they can they can deploy, or they can store all those before deploying, they can store all those packages in different like repositories, repositories. Like there are NPM repository, there are Maven repository, like Nexus repository we can use, or like Azure artifacts. In Azure DevOps, we can use Azure artifacts and all those things, artifacts repository. So these are the things that used to happen with the intervention of operations teams, and then they used to run the automated scripts to deploy all these kind of packages and everything in test environment or staging or production environment. So basically, first they used to deploy all those things in the testing environment so that the QA can verify or they can have a check of the compiled code or the packaged code. Then eventually, after few or several approvals and everything, or several QA gates or everything, they can eventually getting deployed in the staging and the production server. So how we can achieve this automated process? That is basically the goal of the CI/CD pipeline. Through CI/CD pipeline, we can achieve that. Okay. Any question, anyone?
Not a question, but just for the general knowledge, this CI/CD pipeline works. It works for multiple places, but in Amazon, they deliver something in production which you see on live on screen almost every 11 second, 11.8 second. This is the extent of automation you can do. That's why CI/CD is very powerful. Starting from the uh, deployment to the deployment of the production to the end user, everything can be achieved within 11.8 second, and Amazon does that on even today. The amount of time you change your screen, there is something new is coming into the Amazon, and that's why it is very important, very popular across the board. Now, one thing also need to be understand, many of the banking organization or large organization where the criticality is not like Amazon, then that every second or every few minutes you need to upload a new product. Most of the organization are focusing on the CI and some part of the CD because of the regulation and everything. In a banking system, you cannot do because you need to go multiple of approvals. But CI is everywhere, everything. So it's very important. I guess Samek already explained what is the difference between CI and CD. So everywhere is CI is everywhere, and CD is definitely everybody desire. Whether it is possible in organization within the current setup or not, that is still a question.
Yes. Thanks, Paras. Yeah. So as you already gave the example of the Amazon and everything, like in a very short time, they can, they can deliver a product to the customer and everything. So yeah, we can implement one thing to minimize the timeline, actually, the like CI/CD pipeline or completion time of the CI/CD pipeline or CI/CD workflow. So we can introduce parallel testing. So I will obviously show this kind of things in the next session, like how we can implement that. But yeah, the concept of parallel testing actually helps us to like minimize the time also in CI/CD or DevOps life cycle. So we can do parallel testing in terms of like when we are doing the unit testing or regression testing, at that same point of time we can implement or we can run the performance testing of the security checkpoints, all those things. So in this parallel testing manner, we can eventually turn down the actual execution time of the pipeline scripts and everything. So yeah, that is one thing that as a QA engineer we can implement. Anyone else has any kind of question or queries? Not from today, but yeah, from the last 7 sessions.
Soumik, hi, Ridhima here.
Yeah. Yes, Ridhima.
Not any query or something, but I wanted to know what are your plan for another two? Like, is tomorrow going to be the last session, or you want to take one more because we
Uh,
missed one?
so Ridhima, in half an hour, or let's say I missed one session, so let's say in 1 hour, it is not possible to show the entire thing. Like if I install and if I do the setup and everything in Jenkins and any other CI tool. So that is not possible within 1 hour to show all the things and everything. So yeah, whatever things are possible, I will show that in the, I mean, in the designated time and itself. And after that, we can have a separate session if someone wants to have a detailed knowledge and everything. I can show them.
No, but
Oh,
we can increase one or two sessions, right? What is that? Is we are here, na? So if we
Yes, but
need to
so
increase
already
one
we
session,
planned for the advanced part, like after some time and everything. So then also we can do. Or if you want, like next for the next week, I will show you the, I mean, the remaining parts and everything. That is not an issue for me.
okay. For me, I can say what basically I'm looking for that if we can take a session where people know practically how to schedule pipeline in Jenkins.
yeah, I
So
guess
I
that is
want,
important. Yeah.
yes, that is the
Okay.
most important session I want you to take. Even if it takes 2 days, it's fine. Or we can even schedule a single day session of 1 hour if that's possible in that time. We
Yeah,
can
yeah,
think
that
for
is
it
also
because
possible.
possible in 1 hour.
Yeah, that is also possible.
So can we do that tomorrow, or you have any other topics left to discuss? That's
No, no,
what
I
I'm
don't have
asking.
any other topics actually. So tomorrow I just like I basically plan to install how we can install Jenkins in different machines, like the master and slave architecture, and then how we can like do the basic settings and everything, like how we can add the users or how we can add a nodes and everything in Jenkins, and then yeah, how we can add a or create a job and create a pipeline. So all those kind of things I actually plan to uh, do
But can
today.
it be can it be done in half an hour or 1 hour? That's what the question.
So minimum 1 hour is needed for us
So
because half
so
an hour
basic.
it's not possible.
So are you ready to do this all tomorrow so that Rizma can extend tomorrow's meeting for 1 hour? That's the question.
So yeah, so I will try to cover up all those things into 1 hour. If that is not sufficient, then yeah, on next Monday or next Tuesday, as per the like calendar availability of the
Okay. So
associates, I can have a mixes.
okay. So bottom line, let's Rizma extend tomorrow's session for 1 hour, and if
Mhm.
needed, we can have another session on Monday for half an hour.
Yes, fine. So, and Soumik, just try to include mainly the practical part of it, the
Mm.
session tomorrow. And I will also request all the people who have requested for mobile certification also to join the session tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that because we need to schedule one session for them. So if it has been covered tomorrow, we can do it at one go. So I'll do that. I'll extend the session tomorrow for 1 hour.
And just before we leave this call, whoever are here, I guess many people, this is the basic DevOps setup. Did we cover all these topics? Just a quick check because tomorrow is the last session. I believe we covered the version control system, which is mainly Git, and the concept of the version control system. CI, I guess we covered already. Automation testing we covered. Did we cover the artifact repository? What is this and why this is used? I don't know. Configuration management. Did we cover this setup?
No, Paras.
Deployment pipeline, we already covered. Monitoring and logging, we did not cover this.
No.
Okay. Collaboration and communication, I believe team, Altesia, and Jira, everybody knows. So, and you already covered the deployment as well. And
Yes.
feedback loop is basically the meetings and everything is happening. So basically, sorry, yes. So these three topics you will cover basically in advance. So that is not the basic.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So
got it.
after Docker, Kubernetes, and monitoring and everything, I plan to cover in the
Yes, yes.
advanced part.
I got it. Got it. Makes sense. Yeah. So these are the topic. Okay, good. Thank you. I have nothing.
Okay then.